In 2026, everybody is trying to achieve a natural looking brow. Using that same brush with little to no product is the trick. Clean underneath the brow as close as possible.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months.
Hi guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time seeing this face, hi, hello, my name is Ada, and today I'm going to be doing a brow tutorial, and I wanted to share that with you guys. In doing your makeup, the brows tend to be the most important part of the makeup, and I always say, by the way guys, I'm a professional makeup artist, just in case you're coming across this page for the first time. And I always say that the brows are the most important part of the makeup, and once you mess up the brows, every other thing is just going to look off. So the brows are really important. If you're a beginner or somebody who is starting off doing their makeup, if you don't continue practicing whatever you have learned, you're going to forget it, and it's just going to continue looking better the more you keep doing it. So I'm going to show you how I do my brows. I'm going to bring in the camera close so you guys can get into the brows. Okay, I think this is good. So I kind of zoomed in my camera so you guys can see what we're working with. I have a very full brows, and these are my natural brows. I'm not microbladed. So first things first is working with a clean base. You don't have to do anything crazy to the brows, and this step is just going to ensure that your brows looks clean when you draw your brows. So what I like to do is I like to go in with a brow razor and just clean up any excess I have underneath the brow. I usually do this a lot, so it's not something that is strange. All you need to do is just clean up underneath the brow. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just removing any excess hair that you have underneath the brow. And you see how that just elevates the whole of my face. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Having a pack of brow razor is very important, and just having it in your makeup kit, so whenever you need to make use of it, you can always reach for it and use it. So I'm just going to clean this up and see what my brow looks like. I really don't like cleaning the top of my brow because I like a bushy brow. I don't want it to look perfect. I'm not going for perfection. So this is what we're working with. My brows is still pretty much full regardless. So yeah, this is what my brows is looking like cleaned up. So to achieve a brow that is going to stay all day, because that is the goal. You don't want I have a oily skin. I have a combination to oily skin, and it is important that you prep the skin so when you apply your brows, it doesn't clean off at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, or once you get into the sun or you get doing your activities. That can happen as well. So what I like to do is I'm going to go in with a powder. I'm going in with the one size compact powder, and I'm using a flat brush to just kind of remove the oil on this part of my brow. If I was wearing makeup, I would do my brows after I've applied foundation, powder, and all of those. But right now I have a bare skin. There is no foundation on my skin. So what I like to do in cases on days whereby I don't want to wear foundation, I just use a powder brush to just kind of mattify this part of, just to mattify the skin around the brow so there is no excess oil. Because when there is excess oil on the brows, the brow tends to have that shiny look, or it might rub off before the end of the day, and we don't want that. We want a matte looking brows that is going to stay all day. So what I'm doing is I'm just applying the pressed powder on the brow just to remove any excess oil and just kill the shine around that area. Now that the brows are prepped, the skin is prepped, I like to go in with a a brow stick, a brow wax, just something to keep the hairs in place. I know not everybody has a full brow like me, but whichever hairs you have, it's just you getting a brow stick to just keep the hairs in place plays a huge role in how your brow turns out. So I'm gonna go in with a brow stick, very light-handed, and this one has like a mascara wand type of brush. So just brushing out the hairs basically. I'm very light-handed with this process. I'm just brushing out the brows, making sure that the hairs are in place like so, and I do the same thing on the other side. This is just going to ensure the hairs are in place, and having the hairs in place just gives your brow that elevated look that we all are trying to achieve. And the next step is to get a brow pomade. Whichever product you use, even if you're using a pencil, it's pretty much similar, but today I'm using a brow pomade so you guys can just get the gist of the matter. So I'm taking this small amount of pomade, and this one is a Morphe brow pomade, and I'm just placing a tiny little bit on a flat surface, and I'm going to just get some of it on my angled brush. If you take note of the brush I'm using for this process, is a flat angled brush, and the goal is to make sure that the brush is flat. It has to be flat. If it's not flat, your product is going to be everywhere, and we honestly do not want that. So getting a flat angled brush is the goal. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to I've applied some product on the angled brush, and now I'm just going to outline my brows. If you take note, I'm not starting from the front of the brows. I'm starting somewhere around the middle, and I'm just kind of outlining my brow, very light-handed. Can you guys see that? No pressure at all. So I'm just going to stop it right there and come on top of the brows and just outline my brows. Guys, can you see how I was able to join the upper part of the brow to the lower part of the brow? I use a very tiny amount of product, because the more product you use and the more pressure you use on your brows, the darker your brows will become. So it's better you start small and you just build it up, because all of these products are buildable. And now I'm going to use whatever I have left on the brush to just fill up whatever is left on my brows, like towards the tail of the brows. I'm just filling that up very lightly. And in 2026, everybody's trying to achieve a natural looking brow. Nobody's going for that harsh looking 2016 brow. Everybody wants that soft looking brow. You guys see how soft, natural the brow looks. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So after drawing, trying to create a similar looking brows, even though it doesn't have to be perfect, whatever mistakes or errors that was created can be corrected with a brow, with a concealer. Whatever, even if you draw it the first time and it doesn't look this way, it can always be corrected. The goal is to have brows that look like sisters and not twins. That is the goal. So this is what I was able to create. Mere looking at it on the camera, they look similar. So right now I'm just going to clean up my brows with a concealer. So now I'm going in with my NARS concealer. The goal is to use a full coverage concealer so you can get that flawless looking brow. I'm going to go in with a concealer shade that is 2 shades brighter than my actual foundation shade. So I'm just applying a tiny bit of concealer. Like I always say, it's better you go in slowly with a small amount than when you put in too much. Now is a problem to correct it. So I'm just taking the concealer and I'm using it to clean underneath the brow as close as possible. So now I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush to set underneath the brow, just to set that part of underneath the brow. So everywhere that the concealer was placed, I'm just going in with the same my shade of powder to just set it, just making sure that the concealer is set. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. So now after cleaning underneath the brow, this is what we have, guys. Already everything is looking good, but because I'm a perfectionist, I like to go in with that same concealer brush. There is little to no product on the brush, and I just like to clean, just kind of shape, give the top of the brow some shape without using any product. Because the thing is, if you use a concealer on top of the brow, it's just going to give you that harsh look that we don't want. So using that same brush with little to no product is the trick. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And here you have it, guys. This is what we have. If this video was helpful to you, please leave a comment down below. Share it with your friends, your girls that are struggling with brows as well. And this is how you achieve a perfect brow in 2026. I love how this brow looks. Even without wearing makeup or putting anything on my face, I could put on some mascara and I'm good to go. If you learned anything from this video, please leave a comment down below, and do share this video with your friends, your girls that are struggling to achieve a flawless brow in 2026. And I'm sure this video is going to help them as well. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Gone for a year, only go like once. Life move fast when you do what you want.